So now remember, you're going to have to talk near the mic. We're live on here now, so you can move that to wherever you want. I got to see how we can actually get to the. Gosh dang it! We're only live on YouTube. I don't know how to get to our live feed. There we go. So now this isn't going to feed back. You're going to see this. You're going to see everyone's chat, and it's going to come in here. And if anyone jumps in, no one's jumped in here yet, we're going to go ahead and we're going to launch the show now.
Okay.
Okay? So don't talk until I tell you, okay?
Yep.
Are you ready?
Hey, everyone. We are live on Whistling Radio here today. I'm your host, Gary Warner, and we also have Laura Warner here today. You have to talk. You can talk.
Hi.
Okay, she's a little shy, so we're going to go ahead and break her into the radio business today. Everyone can actually see her on live YouTube. Just go to Whistling Radio on the YouTube, and you can see her talking to the camera and the mic.
That's great.
She likes it. So, everybody, this is a brand new show. I used to do something like this for Reptiles, and I just started another one. I have a lot going on my computer screen, so if you guys are chatting, just go ahead. We have two computers running at the same time, but we'll see you chatting in the YouTube channel. If you're listening live on whistlingradio.com or totalradio.com, we appreciate it. We have links for every player out there and basic links. So we're going to go ahead and let Laura talk a little bit because she's getting a little shy. So go ahead and say something.
What would you like me to say?
Anything you want.
Welcome to our show.
You got to get up there, that mic there.
Welcome to our show.
She's a little shy, guys. If you're in the live chat, go ahead and start talking to her. Start getting her. I see we got one person, which is probably me, on my other account. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to talk a little bit and try to break her in. She goes live on YouTube all the time, and people see her all the time and talk. And
I've got Max with me, though. Max is with me, so it's a little different.
Max is with her. It's a little different. So how we came about doing Whistling Radio is she adopted Max, and she likes Max, and Max is on a YouTube channel, and he has his own Facebook page, and we are on a Facebook page called No Flocks Given. I do radio, so we decided to do a radio show. We're going to get Laura to talk today, guys. We're going to get her to talk. She's not going to sit there just like that.
Good bet.
It's not scary. We don't have that many listeners on right now anyway. You have more live listeners on your YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
So, guys, if you guys are having trouble hearing her, just go ahead and tell her in the chat and YouTube, or go ahead and email me at Gary@thetotalradio.com, and we'll get on her and speak up a little bit. I have her mic all the way up. So, see, look, you're live.
Yeah, I know. That's what the problem is. I usually hide on my lives.
You're live.
Yeah,
you're live. You're live on YouTube right now. So, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about a few things here. There's different topics that I got a lot of people wanting me to do and wanting Laura to do. They want to do reviews on rescues and places to buy birds. I am totally for that. If you guys like that idea, you can go to Whistling Radio on Facebook and like the page and give us some comments on there and get some discussions going. You can comment on any of the comments there, or just post to us or email us on Whistling Radio. We're trying to get the areas where you can get birds. We're a true adoption family. We like to adopt before we buy from breeders, and there's a reason for that because there's a lot of birds out there that need homes, and there's actually more than I thought. When we went to adopt Max, we didn't know we were going to get Max at the time. I told my wife that we should go to the rescues and look at what we have available and let the bird choose her. And she wanted a Moluccan cockatoo. She wanted a Moluccan cockatoo pretty bad. She kept saying it, and an African gray. She said an African gray or a Moluccan cockatoo, correct?
Yep.
So,
but I was also scared because Moluccans are huge.
But we went there. I questioned the rescue right away. I would want to make sure they were a true rescue, which they ended up being a true rescue. They had a lot of parakeets or budgies. I know the Australian people are going to get upset that I said parakeet. But over here in the U.S., it is basically called parakeet. When we talk about parakeets, it is a common name here for the little budgies. And a budgie is a common name also. But at the same time, overseas, from here, we call things different than overseas, and overseas call things different than we do. There's tons of things, even outside the bird world, that everything is called a different thing. To give you an example, just something really funny and off the wall, I'm from Ohio originally, and I call a water fountain where you get a drink of water.
That's a bubbler.
And what do you call it here in Wisconsin?
That's a bubbler.
A bubbler. They call it a bubbler.
It's a bubbler.
I don't understand why they call it a bubbler because it doesn't bubble up. It's a fountain. It squirts water out to you. But that's the difference we have here. When it comes to common names, I'm in a reptile game pretty heavy, and I get people that argue over common names all the time. And I'm like, guys, it's a common name. If you want to get scientific, let's use scientific name only. But anyways, to get on some other stuff. We went to this rescue, and I was really firm about the bird choosing her. I wanted the bird to choose Laura. It didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter if it was a budgie parakeet, if it was an Amazon, if it was a macaw of some sort, or if it was a cockatoo. I wanted it to choose her. And lo and behold, the very first bird that chose her was a Moluccan cockatoo, and she carried it around like a baby for hours. And I'm not saying 1 hour, 2 hours. We're talking like 5, 6 hours. This bird sat on her. She carried it around like a baby. So we had a decision to make when we first went. We went there and we walked around the place. We held a lot of birds, and she wanted Max. It's a big decision rescuing an animal. It's a big decision. And we came home and we talked about it. We got a cage, started getting toys around, started bird proofing our house. And we went back, and literally I wasn't planning on taking the bird home that day. But the rescue says, you're going to take the bird home today. That's what it's going to be. And they wanted me to take another cockatoo. They had another cockatoo baby.
Yeah, she was. That bird was awesome.
Hey, you're gonna have to speak up.
That bird was really cool, but not as cool as Max.
But there was another umbrella cockatoo there, and it was it liked men more than it liked women, and that's probably one of the reasons. But the kids could touch baby a little bit more at the time than it could touch Max. That's changed, of course. Max is settled in the house. I mean, he's part of the family. It does take time, but this leads us into why it's so important when you're going to get a bird, why to let the bird pick you. I get see a lot of comments about how Max is in love with Laura and how the bond was there from the start. And I think too many people go in wanting a certain species of bird, and they go into a rescue and they say, I want that African gray, even though the African gray is not a good fit for them. Or they want that macaw, or blue and gold, and that blue and gold that's there isn't a good fit for them. But maybe the green wing liked them and wanted to go home with them, but they didn't like the green wing. Sometimes it doesn't. You got to look for that bond from the get-go. And luckily, I'm looking like Laura, and I'm not joking. When Laura leaves the room, or leaves the house, the bird goes nuts for 15 to 20 minutes without a doubt. It just sits there and goes nuts. And it's one of them things that if you want that, you gotta be willing to open up your mind a little bit, and open up your heart to any type of animal when you go into adoption. It's nice to get the animal that you want, and if you're gonna want to do that, I always tell people probably the best way to do that is buy a baby. To go buy a baby and hand feed it yourself. Because if you go to a rescue and you get a bird that isn't clicking with you, it's going to end up upsetting you. And as we see on No Flocks Given and the other forums and other pages, how many people get a bird and it's just too much for them and they give it back up to the adoption agency, or they sell it, or
they get bit because the bird didn't want them,
or they get bit because they approached it too fast. And that's because they move too quickly getting the bird. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Now, that's not saying that all people do that, because we see a lot of success stories, especially at No Flocks Given. We see a lot of success stories and a lot of birds getting rescued there and having permanent homes. And that's the key here. These animals will usually outlive us, because, human beings are stupid sometimes. But that's what we're looking for, is to promote the rescues. So if you know of a rescue, or if you have a rescue and it's a true rescue, and I'm not saying you have to be 401c, but if you're a true rescue looking to rehome birds and get them permanent homes, just give me an email like gary@thetotalradio.com. And that's going to be my contact for now, so I don't have 60 different emails to check. Just give me an email with a link to the rescue, maybe a phone number, and I'll give them a holler. And we'll see if we can get some free advertisement up and see if we can raise some funds for them also, because that's something else we're going to try to do with this radio station, is raise funds for the proper avenues to get money flowing, because rescues do need help. Their rescues usually are in the red at all times. So we need to help them out with that also. So I don't know. Laura was all geeked to do this radio show, and now she's kind of shy. Is she shy online? I think she posts all the time. I mean, she posts all the time. We got 4 listeners and 3 likes, and I know these people hear your voice. I know they know what it sounds like.
No.
Yeah, I mean, these people better than I do.
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah,
but I don't know who's on there. It just says
it's okay. They're just people that want to hear our voice.
Yeah. How come the camera's just stuck on me?
You don't want it stuck on you?
Not really.
Well, you're the star of the show today. Why don't you tell people the experience you had when you found Max, and how you went about that, and how you went about, picking up that large macaw for the first time, because this is your first large bird.
Yes. I walked into the rescue and I saw Max, and my heart just started pounding. I'm like, I wonder if he's available. So I asked, and they said, yeah, he's available, but you don't want him. No one can handle him. I'm like, okay. So I went up to the cage, walking close to the cage, and he started going nuts. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. And I was kind of laughing at it, and people like, no, don't antagonize him. I'm like, this is cool. What do you mean antagonize him? This is fun. And I just kept talking to him. I got tons of videos and pictures of us meeting. And they said, oh, you got to look at the rest of them. I'm like, all right, I'll humor them, but I already know what bird I want if I can handle him. So I went and looked at all the birds, picked up a few macaws, and they scared the bejeebus out of me. And I tried holding other birds, but there just wasn't that click. And then I said, can I hold Max? And they said, yeah. So they got him out, and he climbed on my arm, and I was just like, I was petrified. I was excited, but I was scared because he's just so huge. And his beak could probably take my finger off in about a matter of seconds. But he climbed in and he cuddled in, and I just held him like a big old teddy bear for the rest of the day. And a few times I had to put him in, take him out by myself, and that was a challenge. I couldn't get him out, so I just grabbed him like a stuffed animal and pulled him out. And I think Gary was almost gonna have a heart attack.
Legit, she picked it up like a stuffed animal.
And I won't lie, I was scared, but it was like an adrenaline rush, and it was pretty cool because I remembered what Gary had told me and a few other people. Gary told me a lot, and this gentleman that has another macaw that I had, not a macaw, but a Moluccan. Her name is Caesar, and I was watching him with him. I'm like, that bird is really cool. And Gary said, don't show fear. He said they were both kind of saying the same things about the Moluccans. And as I was picking up, I'm like, don't show them you're scared. I was so scared, but I was fine after then, and I didn't want to leave. I was crying when I left. I'm like, I don't want to leave him there. That's all I could think about, and got the house ready and went back and got him.
She wanted to go pick him up every day. And he was about 2 hours, 20 minutes away from us. So, I mean, what do you want to talk about, Laura? What topics do you want? I've been asking you to think of some topics.
And there's one topic it's really been bothering me because I see a lot of people say it when people put on the pages, I want a Moluccan cockatoo, or I want a cockatoo, I want this bird or that bird, and they're like, oh, you can't start with a big bird, and you got to start with a parakeet or a cockatiel. And I hear people saying things like I did, that I researched a lot, and I asked questions, and I joined groups, and I studied them a lot. And you don't have to start with a little bird. It's just you have to know what to do. You need to know how to handle them. You need to know as much as you possibly can. And if you're up for it, I think you can start with any bird you want.
I kind of agree with that because, I mean, how are you going to get ready for a big bird by owning a budgie or a parakeet?
You're not.
How are you going to get ready for a big bird by owning a lovebird? And that's why our rescues are so full of birds, is because let's say someone is only into big birds or medium-sized birds, or let's say they're in only conures and they get another bird. That's not what they truly want. They're going to have that drive to go get what they want, and they're going to give up that other bird. I see it in reptiles all the time, when, especially in the venomous hobby, I'll have people ask me all the time, what's a good starting venomous snake? And I'm like, whatever you want to start working with, because a rattlesnake's not going to get you ready for a cobra. And I use that all the time. And I'm sure some of our reptile friends are going to be listening to this show because I posted on my main account. So if you want a cockatoo, there is no way a budgie or a lovebird is going to get you ready for a cockatoo.
No way.
All it's going to teach you is how to clean a bird cage. There's no such thing. Now, I am one of the people that I'm not an elitist. I don't think that we're elite by owning a Moluccan cockatoo. It's just what worked with her. And I'm not joking. If she went with a smaller bird, she would have went with the Amazon there, or she would have went with some conures there. She would have been getting bit up every single day and trying to calm them birds down. And that could have deterred her from wanting to keep continuing into the bird hobby. But since she let the bird choose her, Max has turned into her best friend. The bird chose her, she chose the bird, and it works. I don't know how many people get on the live feeds and say, how do you have such a called cockatoo? You must have had it since a baby. We've had Max, 10 months?
Almost 10 months. The couple more days be 10 months.
Yeah, a couple more days is 10 months, and he's a 20-year-old bird. Now, that does not mean that I can do everything Laura can. I can walk up to Max, I can pet him, stuff like that. There's times that he doesn't want me to touch him. He'll let me know by walking away or whatever. And you can hear Max now in the background. He's actually calling probably for Laura. But Laura can walk up and basically he's on his perch, put her hands around his wings and everything, just pick him up. And he's like, okay, I guess I'm going to go for a ride now. Now, if I tried that, I'd probably be bit. And there's a reason for that, is because Laura and Max chose each other. It's a different bond. And it works that way because birds are at a different level than other animals. It just is. Yes, can you work with a bird and make it love you? I shouldn't say make it love you. It's
a bond, growing bond.
Gain your trust, and you gain its trust. Yes, you can. You can work with a bird very easily and let it gain your trust, and you gain its trust. But it's a different bond, and many people see that. And many people I've seen on No Flocks Given, there's a couple other people that have birds that they chose them, and the relationship is that good. So a starter bird
can be any bird.
Research what you want and know what it's going to entail and go after what you want. Because Let me put it this way: if you want to own Doberman Pinschers, do you start with Chihuahuas? You don't start with Chihuahuas. If you got it. Knowledge is power. So if you go out and research and you talk to people that own birds and talk to people that own these Moluccan cockatoos or the macaws or the Amazon parrots or the grays, if you talk to these people and you start educating yourself with the truth and know the cage size, and you maybe go to a rescue or two and look how to work with the animal, or talk to the breeder that you're going to buy from and say, how do you work with this animal? Before you make the decision that you are going to buy what animal, there are ways to learn. And when you learn, it's going to be a stronger bond with you instead of getting an animal to try to use it as a stepping stone to get to something else. That's why animals rescues are full of animals, is because people use certain animals as stepping stone to get somewhere else. I hate it. We just adopted 2 water dragons. We got given to us from down south. We got 2 water dragons given to us because someone just didn't want them, and the rescue couldn't adopt them out. So we have them now. And it's just it's a sad thing when you go into a larger rescue and you see all the budgies and you see all the lovebirds and the conures. These smaller birds.
Cockatoos.
Cockatoos. Oh my God. Lord. Cockatoos and budgies, there's hundreds of them. And then I hear that people say that they're mean. There's no such thing as a mean bird, guys. It's protecting itself. It's scared. It doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't know who you are. It doesn't trust you. It's not mean. It's protecting itself. I'll give you an example. How about that Amazon at the rescue that no one could touch, and I'm sitting there petting it on the head, and I didn't know it bit.
And they said I couldn't. They said, "Be careful. You can't pick Max up. He won't go to anybody."
Yeah, be careful. Don't pick Max up, and she's carrying around like a baby. So birds, I don't know how they come across the trust. I don't know how they come up with that idea that certain people they can trust and certain people they can't. But they do. And if you are lucky enough to have that happen to you, maybe that's the bird for you. Because a bird that's going to cuddle you and a bird that's going to love you when you open the door to your house and get excited to see you and flap its wings because it wants to get to you and all this is going to give you more enjoyment than that one that just is not.
Kind of like your showcase, like it's
like
mine.
Showcase. Yeah, you don't.
Look at my cool bird, but it's just a pet sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. I see a lot of people that sit there and say that what's right for the wrong for the bird and what's this and that. We have them because of greed. And I'm a pet owner. I love pets. We have animals for greed. We want them. And the best thing we can do for them is give them the best life we possibly can. And don't think I'm against pets. I love my pets. I have snakes. I have geckos. I have birds. I have tons of stuff. But the whole point is to give them the best life that we possibly can. So when someone gets on, up and says, guess what? Your bird can't eat this. Do you know when anyone said that to me, I had someone message me. They messaged me that I can't feed a bird a certain item. And I says, but they eat that in the wild. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, where this bird comes from, that particular bird will eat this product in the wild. They got really quiet. And then I messaged them back about maybe a day later. And I said, is everything cool? Is everything okay? And they said, I didn't understand that. And I'm like, yes. The true way to actually understand what the bird needs and the bird wants, or any animal for that matter, when you take it from the wild or breed it and it's in the wild, it's trying to mimic its natural resources that it's going to eat. And it was really funny. I posted on No Flags Given about birds liking mealworms. No one ever talks about it. No one ever talks about the birds liking bugs.
No, that's what they eat in the wild.
But there's tons of pictures now that people are like, yeah, they do. But it's one of the things that a lot of people don't want to post about. Because birds will take advantage of that, and they'll eat mealworms and crickets and other types of insects where they're from.
That's why I barely ever talk about feed. Few subjects I want to talk about is like what I feed them, very rarely because people flip out. or the, God forbid, the clipping or not clipping subject, it gets brutal.
But that's where we got to change this hobby, is where it gets brutal. I'm going to tell you guys a little story about reptiles, that there are big breeders out there that are no longer big breeders because people perceive them as being very bad people. But 10 to 15 years ago, before social media was big, they were godlike to these people. It's just social media has given everyone a voice, and everyone likes using that voice, which is good. But use it for good and don't argue. Don't fight. Try to educate. Open your mind just as much as you want the other person to open their mind, and maybe we'll both learn something. And I always tell people that you want to open your mind and listen to what someone's saying, and then have them listen to you. If both two human beings will do that, if they'll listen as much as they talk, so much knowledge can be passed on. Because the clipping ordeal, I will tell you this, I know from a fact that if you take a non-clip bird and you clip their wings, their attitude will change. And I was talking to somebody, I can't say it too loud but everyone knows what I'm talking about. We got 2 new things. They were talking about clipping their wings. I said, I won't clip their wings. There's no need for clipping their wings. And I said, their attitude to change, their attitude to get different. Sometimes they will get really, really aggressive. And then sometimes they'll get really, really timid. It'd be like neutering a dog. And they were like, wait a second, you're right. Their attitude did change last time. And it was like I was talking to somebody, and they were like, yes, that did happen. So do I agree with clipping wings? I'm not a wing clipper. I don't like clipping it. I won't do it. There's no need for it. Now, there is dangers if you do take your bird outside. If it is not clipped, it can fly away. I know a lot of people on No Flocks Given does have birds that go outside. Are you talking on?
They're asking if we're still on, so I just told her where to go.
Oh, yeah, we're still on. We're going to be on for a little bit, guys. I want to do our shows, but if people are here listening, guys, we're going to go ahead and talk. This is kind of on the button. We got, the stuff to do it, and live calls will happen probably next week. But anyways. Your birds can fly away if it goes outside, and you take them outside if you don't have clipped wings. So don't sit there and say, "Hey, Gary guy said don't clip the wings. I'm going to take my bird outside." It could fly away. Now I do know there's birds on No Flock Given. Caesar's one that goes outside. I don't believe she has her wings clipped.
No, Caesar's. As far as I know,
Yeah,
Andrew said Caesar's hasn't been clipped for
I think
20, 30 years.
Yeah, I think Andrew knows what he's doing with his bird, though, and he knows the situation. I mean, she's had it, 30 years?
32 or something like that.
32 years. So,
or maybe longer.
That situation, 32 years. How many people can say they had their bird 32 years?
Not many. They die, or they get sick of them, or they get bit and they get scared and get rid of them.
I know that all of us listening, we're bird lovers. I'm saying as a general public, because we're a small part of the bird hobby. The people on No Flocks Given and all these other places, we're a very small part of a big, big hobby of owning birds. And I don't like calling it a hobby because it's kind of like when you adopt a bird, it's kind of like adopting a child.
Yeah, I'm putting on Max's page. Sorry.
Yeah, you're like adopting a child, or you're adopting a new family member, and or I don't even like saying you're purchasing a bird. I think a bird's a little different than buying a reptile, even because a reptile has no emotional attachment to me. There's none of my snakes care if it's me giving them food, Laura giving them food, or you coming over to my house and giving them food. But a bird forms a bond, and that bond is hard to break. It's very hard to break. Birds are very, very emotional animals, and they become emotionally attached to things. And I do have people that argue me with that, but I mean, I can prove it by just some of the people that post on No Flocks Given, some of what their birds do for them. I mean, a bird laying on its back is probably one of the most trusting things that bird can do. So if your bird lays on its back for you, that is a huge sign saying, I trust you. You're not going to hurt me. And I love these pictures, guys. I'm a very busy person, so don't think if I don't like pictures. Ask Laura. I don't like stuff very often.
No.
I get on here and I'm going around. I'm on Twitter. I have a bunch of radio shows that I do, and stuff like that. So if I just jump on something to talk, when I talk, it's like, oh yeah, I got something to add to that conversation. That's how I am because I don't have a lot of time. And I'm gone away from the house sometimes 16 to 20 hours at a time, and I come back and I don't have a lot of time to do anything. But I've been in the animal trade for over 20 years. So I've been doing this and that. The reptile game has probably had me longer than anything else. I did have a cherry head conure. It was years ago. And I made a mistake. And this is a mistake that I learned from, and I'm still upset to this day because the cherry head conure still would be with me. I used to be a manager when I was 18. I'm going on 40 years old now. So it was when I was 18, 19. I used to be a customer service manager at a pet store called Pet Supply Plus. And I was very knowledgeable in reptiles, and the customer service person basically took care of the animals. Okay. And I'm the one in Ohio that got the Pet Supply Pluses to get all the birds and the reptiles. I had African grays, macaws, I had cherry head conures, and that's what we'll be talking about here in a second. I had every reptile you could dream of, and my sales were amazing because I was known. I was a known person in Toledo, Ohio. But I sold this cherry head conure, and this cherry head conure loved me. I used to sit on my shoulder and walk around the whole store all the time. And I sold it to a person, and about 3 to 4 days later, that lady comes in. She's not mad at me, but you can see that she's upset. And she shows me her hand, and she has stitches in her right above her thumb. Like, I think it was like 3 stitches. And I'm like, what happened? She goes, that damn bird bit me. And I'm like, no, he didn't. It's the sweetest bird in the world. So she has it in the box, and I go and I'm going to open the box. She goes, don't open that box. It's going to attack you. It's mean. I open the box. It jumps on me, goes up to my shoulder, and sat there. Sweet as can be. So we give her a refund, and my store manager comes up to me and goes, guess what you got? You got yourself a bird. Because no one else could touch it. Like, nobody. So I buy everything I need for this bird. I mean, I bought a California king cage, and I just went nuts. I spoiled this bird rotten, and I had it for a year and a half. And I'm not joking. You could not come up and shake my hand without this bird attacking you. It loved me. It was in love with me. If I wasn't around, anyone could touch it. After I had it, my brothers, my mom, anyone could go up and touch this bird. But what happened is I had a dog, 2 dogs actually get thrown out of a car in front of the pet store. It was a toy collie and a cinnamon husky. And I called the bird Thug because he was so mean to everybody. So I call him Thug. That's his name. And he could say his name. He goes, I'm a thug. It was funny. I was young, guys. But anyways, he was free roaming. He could come and go as he wanted. I had a dog. My dog loved the bird. The dog would sit on her and prune her and whatever she wanted to do. I didn't think of this, and I took the cinnamon husky home, and the cinnamon husky thought she was a toy, or my Thug was a toy. And she didn't bite down on him or nothing, but scared him. And when I got her to stop cornering my bird, Thug, I got the husky off the bird. I picked up the bird, and the bird died in my hands. It was a really bad mistake, and that's a story that could go why you don't want free flight. But at the same time, I should have known. It was my mistake. I should have known not to bring another dog in that house. I just adopted it. Basically, it got thrown out of a car. And I took it home at 11 o'clock at night. And that was when I was 18 years old, going on 19. That happened. And it was a learning experience, but it was a learning experience that cost a lot. It cost my bird, and I didn't even pay anything for the bird. So don't think it's money I'm talking about. So that's one of the things. I didn't clip his wings. He went outside. He flew
Really?
when he wanted to fly. He did whatever he wanted to do.
See, I'm scared to do that when we get the other ones going. I'm just afraid that they'll fly away and be gone.
That's the thing. You do take a risk. I mean, there's a bond that's done, but anything can spook a bird. And I tell people, if you're going to take your bird outside, don't go around busy roads. Don't do that. You got to watch out for other predators, especially with your smaller birds. I mean, and if you're in a colder state, you want to make sure it's not too cold outside. Stuff like that. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jasper. It was Thug was my boy. I was a very large reptile breeder, but that bird had me. Like no joke, I would go home.
That's Erin, actually. Hi, Erin.
Oh.
It's Jasper. She can't change her name back.
Oh, hi, Erin.
For no fox.
But I would go home and the bird would be on me. If I fell asleep in a chair, the bird would be on me. The bird then would fly back to his cage and curl up in a blanket. No joke, curl up in a blanket. And he talked. He said, "My name is Thug." He would say, "Hello." He would say, "Come here so I can bite you." He said tons of stuff. I mean, it was funny. I mean, he was just a great bird, and now I get my joy through Max. Max is my buddy. Laura says he acts like a baby around me.
He does. He cower down like this, like he's being hand fed. It's hilarious. I don't get it.
I whisper to him, and he whispers stories to me. he whispers really softly to me, and but there's days that Max don't want me touching him, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's days he just doesn't want me touching him, and then there's days that he doesn't want me to leave him. So, hey, look at that one's on a little bit farther back. That's what they're seeing. This is what we see.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
That was the story of Thug. That my reptile friends know about it because I've told that story many times to them, and stuff like that. But Thug was an awesome bird, and that's my only bird I ever had.
Yeah, I had 6 cockatiels when I was in high school.
So she had 6 cockatiels. Now I took care of birds. I've hand fed birds for the pet stores and stuff like that. But
it was weird when I had those cockatiels. It was like a totally different situation, and now they're my birds, and I loved them, I liked them, but there's a huge difference now with Max. I don't get it.
Well,
maybe
it's because you allowed him to choose you.
Yeah,
and that's a big thing when you allow an animal to choose you, and it's a huge difference.
and when you get chosen, it's something really special. I can't explain it. It's just like he chose me. It's really cool.
But it's a cool thing, and we want to push adoptions here. We want to push adopting, and there's nothing wrong. Like I said, if you want a certain bird, and you want that African gray, or if you want that Moluccan cockatoo, or you want that ringneck parakeet, maybe the best bet is to try a rescue. If you don't find one that bonds with you, to buy a baby. That might be the best bet. Laura was lucky enough to walk in and she found a Moluccan cockatoo, and that's what she wanted. Or a gray. She was looking for a Moluccan cockatoo or a gray.
But I wanted the bird to pick me. I was hoping one of those two would pick me.
So it happened that way. But rescues are a big thing. Rescues are a fun thing.
Ouch.
Yeah. Cherry-head conures are a little different than other conures, are they not? Their beaks are huge compared to other conures.
Are they brutal?
Yes. Well, I
guess so.
Know. Thug never bit me. I could do I could flip him upside down. I could wrap him in paper. I could do whatever I want to him. I could wrap him. He would let me wrap him in Christmas wrapping paper, and he would break out. He did not care. He let me do anything I want. Well, I can't even say that. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, but I call him a boy. I name him Thug.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, anything. He played fetch with me. I'd throw a peanut, he'd bring it back. He wouldn't eat it. He'd bring it back and drop it in my hand.
He's like playing catch with it.
He was.
Kinda.
He just loved me. He is my boy.
What kind of bird do you have, Aaron? Or birds? A lot of people have more than one.
So we also, for Whistling Radio, I am working on, and guys, whistlingradio.com I know is a little half up. I'm working on it, guys. I promise you that. But we are going to put a forum up, the old school forums, and what it's going to be is a place that we can break down different subjects. Like there might be a cockatoo forum, might be a conure forum, a macaw forum, a parrot forum. Budgies for my friends in Australia. I love you guys in Australia. You guys have no clue how much I love Australia. You guys have no clue. But we're going to break down. Then we're going to have like a section for classifieds. So if you're looking to adopt a bird out, or if you're looking to sell some supplies or a cage, and I can actually help people ship the bird. I can tell you what to do, what airline to go through, what the proper way is to do it. So we might be able to, if let's say, a friend on the forum wants the bird that you're adopting out, and let's say you gain a friendship, you could ship this bird to them, and payment would be through you guys, whatever form of payment you want. But I can help you ship that bird. I've shipped animals for my whole life. Well, not my whole life, last 22 years. And there's a way to ship birds. Birds aren't like reptiles, and I've seen people try to ship birds.
How do they do it?
Box. You go through an airline and you actually ship them in a dog carrier, and you put a perch in there, and there's a special. You got to pay a little bit more, and they get shipped a special way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Special compartment. Not many people know that. Not even some breeders don't even know this. Like when I ship venomous reptiles, they get put in a wooden box, and they're bagged, and then they're put in a styrofoam box, and then that styrofoam box is put inside a wooden box that's actually screwed shut. So you have to have a screw gun to get it out, and it's marked venomous with a list of the species, and that will actually be put in a secure location in the cargo that is being shipped, because it would be in a secure area. They'll know where that box is at, but you don't want to ship a bird down in the cargo area of the plane. So there's actually ways. I got connections through a few different airlines that can help out. But don't shove a bird in a box and ship it. Do not do that.
Aaron's got a cinnamon green cheek conure and 2 cockatiels and a red-eared slider.
Red-eared sliders rock. Green cheek conures are amazing little birds, and cockatiels are underrated, even by me. I even underrate cockatiels. Cockatiels can talk a little bit better, but I think cockatiels get a bad rep because of the chain stores. Cockatiels tend not to be friendly. I don't want to say mean. They're just not friendly. They're not, as giving as if you go get a hand-fed cockatiel. If you get a hand-fed cockatiel, they're amazing little birds.
All mine were hand-fed.
Yeah, you go to like a pet. We put a thread up with that parakeet and budgie thing.
No.
And people were asking me, you buy your birds there? And I'm like, no. We just like going to there. We just like going to the pet stores because we live in Green Bay and there's nothing here.
No.
I'm trying to get her to move to like Hawaii. Australia would be awesome, but we can't have Max there, so Australia's out. We can't take anything. It's really hard to even, import anything in Australia.
But it would be really cool to live there and see all the cockatoos all the time. That'd be just amazing. That would be awesome. But it'd be weird because can't touch them, can't keep them.
Oh, so you got a little bit of everything. You got hand-fed and then an ex-breeder. Ex-breeders can actually be really friendly. I actually worked for a person that bred reptiles and birds. And I will say, out of all the birds, when they were breeders, the ones that I hated working with were the Quaker parrots. Them things would tear my hand in half when I used to clean up their cages.
Really?
Oh, geez, they would attack me. They would like come down, and I know they were just protecting their little home, but oh my Lord, they were like, oh, there's a hand, let's go bite it. And I'm like, oh, and you know me, I don't jerk my hand back. I just let them bite. I'm like, whatever, bite it. And it hurt.
Well, the Conyers, I'm sure they'll calm down, but they like to nail you pretty good. The green cheeks. I get a little tattoo right
They
there.
have not bit me yet. They
Not you.
love bites.
Hi Courtney. She just found the chat.
Yeah, how this chat's gonna go, I haven't decided. Just to let you guys know, there's ways that we can use YouTube to actually fund the station if we don't get advertisers. So I'm trying to get ways to do it. And YouTube's got something built in. I'm really trying to work it out. But just to give you guys an idea of what I host, Laura's actually opening up a little bit. But we host Whistling Radio. I host a Cleveland Browns radio show called The Uncaged Dog. I host Cold Blooded Radio. And I do one called Reseller is Life. And I have 3 more on the mix. And I'm trying to build all these websites. I have a problem with taking on too much at one time.
A little bit.
And I get overwhelmed and I just stop. But this show, I actually told Laura the other day, I think this show has the most potential out of all the radio shows I have, even with my reptile background. I think with you guys from No Flock and the excitement that I've seen about this radio show. And I'm thinking we're going to have, I'm thinking like a 15-minute segment where someone could call in and tell stories or whatever.
And Aaron or Courtney just asked a question.
Let's see. Oh, harnesses. I'm not a fan of harnesses. But I know there's people that are. The reason I'm not a fan of bird harnesses is if the bird takes off, it jerks their body at the end of that harness. Now, I know a lot of people that use the harness and they say it doesn't hurt them, and I'm going to have to take their word. But I think of a harness that the bird takes off and tries to fly and it gets jerked back. As we know, birds are delicate as it is. So would I use harnesses? Probably not. I don't even know if we can get a harness on Max.
I bet you I could. He lets me put ads on now.
Yeah, good point.
I could. I don't think you could.
But I'm not totally. I'm just not on the harness thing. I'm just thinking of the birds like, oh, there's something. Let's take off. And then at the end of the rope is like, bam. There's nowhere else for it to go.
Like jerking back. And
it jerks them back. It's like a whiplash. Now, I could be totally wrong on that. I honestly could. I could be totally wrong, and harnesses be 100% safe. But that's why now click training.
Sure.
I will tell you this right now. You can click train. You can sign language train a bird. I proved that to Laura with Max. I would take my 2 fingers together. I'll do it here, and did this. And then when he would come over to me, I would scratch his head. Never say a word.
And he'll put his head down.
And then he started putting his head down. Now if I go up there and do that, no matter what he's doing, he starts calming down and put his head down.
Oh, you do this?
Yep.
And he starts flipping off?
Yeah, or I put my hand flat. If he starts biting, I put my hand flat right in front of him, and he's never bit it when I do that. Other things I've done a soft snap. So that's kind of like click training. What the big thing with is when you do that, make it a simple thing and get them to do it. And every single time, then you reward them. So let's say you want them to walk across the table and pick up a ball. You click it, you want to do your click, and when they do that, you reward them. Anything else, you don't reward. But I say start with a smaller thing. Just be consistent with it and work with them. It's not going to work overnight. It might not work in a week, but you can do it. Click training is actually a very, very big thing. I like sign language because you always have your hands. And so when I say sign language, it doesn't have to be human sign language. It could be something that you do. You could touch 2 fingers together. You could, touch your eye. Something that they can visually see and you means something. And then instead of it being click training, it's something that you're doing with your bird. And it's kind of impressive when someone comes over and you say it. Someone commented that one day when I told Max to drop it, he drops it.
Yeah. He does that for Andrew too, for some reason.
I'll tell Max to drop it. We didn't train him to do that. He must have been trained. He knows drop it means drop whatever he has, and he just drops it. It's really weird. You got to remember, most birds, and I'm saying most birds, have an intelligence of a 2 to 3 year old. Now, I can't say finches might not. I don't know, but most of your parrots and your cockatoos and your keats, they're very, very intelligent. Your lovebirds, stuff like that. Your parrotlets, I know they're parrots, are very, very intelligent. Click training, be consistent over and over and over again, and try not to change it. The other thing you ask, can you explain her? Says the click. Like I said, just be consistent. The same thing. Start small. Like if you want it.
Thanks, Aaron. See you later. Go ahead.
Oh, see ya. Nice talking to you. When you do it, do something real simple at first and get them used to it. You have one lovebird. Lovebirds are great. I think lovebirds are really underrated. I actually don't underrate them. I think lovebirds are actually very, very affectionate animals. And that's not even a pun against their name. Lovebirds are actually one of them birds that I think that if you have, you could play with just like any other parrot.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they'll play, they wrestle. Lovebirds are excellent. And what's nice about them is you can basically put a lovebird in any house. You can have them in an apartment; it's not going to bother anybody.
Yeah. Best way to introduce
fresh fruits and veggies into the diet. What I would do is I would research, for a lovebird. I couldn't give you the exact list of what's good and bad for them right off the top of my head. But you want to read what's good for them. And then what you want to do is introduce one thing at a time to see what they like. To give an example, a lot of people say that conures, the green cheeks, like oranges. Ours don't. Ours like grapes. If you try one thing at a time in small portions, you'll find out what they like. And then you can make your fruit salad and they'll eat it. But you don't want to overwhelm them and say, here's a bunch of fruit. Here you go. Take what you want, because they'll pick through it by color. I'm not joking. Max picks through things by color. He's like, oh, that's that color. I want to eat that. And it doesn't matter what it is. We can give him a green pepper and a green apple, and he'll go after the green. It's just what he does. But you want to take one item and see if they eat that, see if they like it. And then you would say, put it on your, yep, he likes that list. And then certain things he doesn't like. And then you can mix that up together. I tell Laura not to freeze the stuff for the bird. Freezing takes away a lot of nutrition. So if you can make it fresh every single day, Laura spoils the bird rotten. So she fixes fresh fruits and vegetables and noodles and you name it. I mean, Max gets popcorn once in a while.
That was funny the first time we figured out he liked popcorn.
Oh, geez. He would eat popcorn every day if we allowed it. But remember this, when it comes to birds, too much of anything is bad. There are some fruits and vegetables you want to stay away from. They're not good for birds. But then other things, even if it says you can feed them, you want to stay away from it on a full scale. You don't want to give them, if they like oranges, don't give them 6 oranges every single day of their life.
And sometimes you might want to try a couple days in a row. I see Courtney said he tried corn today and it didn't work. Try it for a few days or whatever. Sometimes they'll look at it like, what is that? And then after a while, they'll start eating it.
Yeah, good point. You could try it a few days. Don't starve your bird to try to get them to eat what you want them to eat. I don't like that so much. I've seen people say, well, they should be eating apple. If they don't like apple, don't feed them for a day and then they'll eat apple. Well, don't do that.
No.
There's taste buds are different. And another big thing, and I don't see this talked about on the pages at all, is research. Google's your friend. I tell Laura this all the time. There is bad information online and there's good information online. But if you search, say, is apple good for my lovebird? And there's 20 pages that talk about it. 1 says no and 19 says yes. The answer is probably yes. If there's 10 that says yes and 10 that says no, then that's the time to start thinking about it. Let's do some more research. If there's 19 that says no, you can't feed it, and one that says yes, it's probably a no. You can't read one site and go with it. Lovebird, like I said, lovebirds are excellent. They're so underrated as a bird. I don't see many people talk about lovebirds. Usually the bigger birds get the love of the channel and or not the channel, but the pages and the forums and all that. But Laura's liking her computer setup I did for her.
It's different. I'm so used to my phone and iPad. It's like I actually got to touch the buttons, like
you got
antique stuff.
Type. The other cool thing with the smaller birds is you can train them to go through them obstacle courses.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's fun to do. Give them a little obstacle course and give them a treat at the end and a little maze, and they'll figure it out. I'm telling you that. Right away.
And try a little. When you are introducing food, just try a little bit in their dish. That one thing at a time, like Gary said. And if they don't do it, say you try corn today and it doesn't work tomorrow and the next day, try it again another time. Because I thought Max was broken. He didn't eat anything. Because that's what he was really picky at first. But now he'll just about eat anything. I just have to keep trying it. Like he does not like chop. Everybody said, "Oh, you need to do it chop, chop, chop." He looked at it like I was nuts. So I do it one. He likes to eat one food at a time.
Yeah, talk about Max likes seeing us eat it too.
Yeah.
He'll put anything in his mouth that I put in my mouth.
Oh, you just got your lovebird today? Congratulations.
Oh, that's a big congrats.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. When you get a brand new bird, it is a fun time. Tell me it's not.
It is awesome. Can you post your bird on your lovebird on Max's page? I'd love to see it. You're welcome, Colby.
So what we're looking to do too, we want to give away prizes and stuff like that. We're actually going to be working with a few people for caging. I don't want to give away animals. I'm a big person that don't give away animals because I don't know. I don't want to put up and say, "Hey, we're giving away a Moluccan cockatoo this week for this winter." We don't know if that Moluccan cockatoo is going to have a good home or if it's the right fit for that home. So what we like to do is give away, food, vouchers, or toys, or stuff like that. Whistling Radio is also going to have a shirt line here soon. I'm working on that, so we're going to be giving away shirts.
Is what the radio page, Courtney?
The radio page, Whistling Radio. Yes, Whistling Radio on Facebook is our main page for Whistling Radio. And then we have whistlingradio.com also. Whistling Radio Facebook page is kind of more finished.
I'm sorry.
Max's page is Max's, but we advertise a lot on there. That's Max's page, so he gets to do what he wants.
Yeah, that's Max. He'll say that too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your other bird. Was that another lovebird or what, Courtney?
So while she's answering that, I'll keep on talking about what we're going to be doing. We got the shirt line and the hat, and we're going to be able to put Whistling Radio on a few different products and get that sold. That's going to help pay some bills for the radio show and stuff like that. The forum is going to be going up, and I'm working on a live chat. I just haven't figured out a good one because we do own a few servers for websites, and I own the server for the radio station, but the radio station server is just for going live. So the other thing that I want you to do, and you can get in contact with Laura if you want. Laura's opening up finally. At first, she was a little petrified of the mic
because the camera's right there.
But you can contact her. The phone lines are going to be live next week. I did not want to do phone lines this week. I wanted to get through the introduction and get through the stories and get you guys a feel of the radio show. When you guys do call in, it'll be just like a phone call. You'll hear us talk. Laura and I will both be able to hear you. You can hear us. So then whenever you talk, it will go out to the world. So what I'm thinking about doing is having this 15-minute segment with a person that wants to tell a story about how they got their bird, or a story about their bird, or if it does a tricks, or whatever you want to talk about, because this is not our show, or Laura and I's show. It's our show as a whole. It's to get the word out there about our lovely hobby, and or should I say, our adventure of owning birds, or birds owning us. I don't know exactly how we want to say it, because
I think the birds own us.
Yeah, the birds own us. So I'm going to open up the phone lines for that for 15 minutes to one person, and it can be anyone. If you got, just like I said, if you got one lovebird and you want to talk about your lovebird, let's do it 15 minutes, and then I'm going to open up segments of 15 minutes for phone calls, and you can ask questions. And I'm going to say I don't know everything. I'm not sure if Laura does.
No, I don't.
But we can help point you in the right direction. If we get a phone call and we get something that we can't answer, we're not going to make it up. We're going to say the words "I don't know," and we're going to try to get you them answers the best we can. If that's just the correct thing to do. So we'll open up the phone lines for phone calls. Now, I only do have one phone line coming in at a time, so it's going to be phone call. Then for that, the question line, ask your question, maybe do a shout out or talk a little bit, and then we'll answer. We'll hang up the phone. We'll answer your question, and then we'll go on to the next caller. Until I get the business line in here, and I get like 10 or so lines where we can, put them on hold and have someone call in, put them on hold, and we have a screen checker. Maybe my son can do that.
Yeah.
We'll put him in where he patches them through. But right now, this is just getting ran out of our house. As you guys see, I got some, stuff behind us. This was where I used to fix computers and cell phones.
Yeah.
And I got all that stuff packed up so we could do radio shows now. Kind of insane.
Trying to think.
What you thinking of?
Trying to think about talk about something else like the.
You want to talk about something? You can't let dead air go on.
I know.
Don't like dead air.
You don't like dead air?
No dead air. That's why I'm good for the radio, because I like hearing myself talk. See, every radio personality can say that.
Oh, thank you. On Max's page, did you?
Yes, if you guys post pictures, you can post it to Max's page, or you can post it to Radio Whistling Radio. We'll get them put up if you don't mind. We'll contact you and ask you to put them up on whistlingradio.com, and we'll put them out there and put them as a Whistling Radio family.
Thank you. Yeah, put them on Whistling Radio too.
Funniest bird story. What's your funniest bird story?
I'm trying to think. I saw that and I'm like, which one is the funniest one?
Shoot, the funniest bird story. Let's see. We just had one. We got 2 new birds.
Yeah.
And we're upstairs, and I'm letting them chew on me, and I'm like, they don't bite or nothing. And Laura gets one laying on her hand, and she's like, ow, 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 and like keels over. It got her like right in that spot on her finger, and it was biting down. And I thought it was kind of funny because it hopped down and it got right next to my face and just sat there.
Little shit.
I thought that was hilarious.
And they're so tiny. It's different from Max. It's like it's coming, and they're just like they'll just nail you.
How about Max likes boxes and doesn't get mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. When I had first got Max a couple weeks in, he had a big box in his cage, and he was loving it. And I was doing a live, and someone basically like shunned me and said that was the worst thing. But don't ever give him boxes. They're hormonal. They're this. They're that. And so I stopped. And because I tried to get at him in his cage in the box when we just recently got him, he didn't bite mean, but he like showed aggression. I was like, I was kind of hurt. I'm like, what are you doing? You're so sweet. What's the matter? But now he gets boxes on his perch, and he's like infatuated with them. I have this big vacuum box, and I keep filling it with more boxes. Like I just keep nesting them in there. He shreds them. I put more in there.
He's a chewer.
It's so he loves it, but that was, I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, the thing is when you're dealing with your birds, you know your bird better than anyone else.
Yeah, and when you first get a bird, everybody wants to tell you how to do it, and you need to learn on your own. I mean, you can get the tips, but it's the bird Nazis that are just nuts.
Here's the rule when it comes to any animal. As long as you're not harming the animal, everything's going to be fine. Yeah. Now, if you get bit, remember, it's your fault. It's not the bird's fault. It's not the animal's fault. And I say that in reptiles, everything.
And sometimes they use it. That's their hand, or they're trying to grab on.
Laura used to think that she was getting bit by Max, and he was using it as a hand, and he would pull up. And I'm like, if that bird wanted to bite you, it would bite you. So what I tell people is a lot of people want to be right, and they want to know everything. And the best people to get advice from is probably the people that don't know everything, because they're willing to learn. I learn every day. I look at No Flocks Given, and I learn something every single day. I see some amazing birds on there. I see some amazing toys that people make, play pens that people make.
Someone just joined with a toucan.
Someone just joined with a toucan. That's amazing. I didn't see that yet. That's
pretty cool.
Awesome. It's just, you got to keep an open mind and have fun. I mean, because this is supposed to be fun. We have birds because we like fun. We don't like birds because they're quiet.
They're definitely not.
We don't like birds because they're passive and they don't take much time. We like it because they're fun. And I always wonder why some bird owners are so upset all the time. And it's not even bird owners, though. It's a lot of times, there's reptile owners that are this way. There's dog owners that are this way. People just get upset for no reason.
What's the fruit? Max or your bird?
What's that?
My daughter goes, Mom, it's a Fruit Loops bird.
Oh,
the toucan.
Yeah, the toucan, the Fruit Loops bird. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. I'm excited about seeing that here in a little bit. The toucan bird is awesome. Did you notice that? Look what YouTube does to the video. Look how washed out that looks, but look on my computer. Look how nice it looks.
Yeah, it needs to be like this.
People can see your face. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I know. Trying.
And it's up. Now Laura's starting to see why you got to plan out the show.
Yeah.
You got to plan out the show and get some ideas. And that's why this show, like I said, is kind of like, I wanted to go an hour, but we're going to go over an hour. We're already over an hour. It's not a big deal.
I've left a lot of those pages too, Courtney, because it was just insane. There was one lady that was going on for hours because I had given Max, I thought it was cute. He was making a salad. I gave him lettuce, and then he had tomatoes. Oh my God, he had tomatoes, and the lady was just going and saying I was abusing Max, and he had a very few pieces, and he enjoyed it. And the lady was going on for like 3 hours, and people just were jumping on, telling her that she was ridiculous, and what do you think they eat in the wild? They're going to not eat a tomato because it's in the wild? And so on certain groups, I know what I can talk about and not post, is I don't want to deal with it. I won't talk about food or pellets or seeds. And
yeah, someone got mad at me about pellets.
yeah,
you know what's wrong with pellets? When people feed just pellets.
Yeah.
They got mad at me because I said, if you feed your bird pellets, it's okay. But as long as you give it a varied diet, and someone got mad and says, you can't just feed your bird pellets. And I'm like, guess what? You don't feed your bird pellets. I'm going to tell you what Max eats. I don't care who gets mad at me. We buy a little 2-pound bag of pellets and it lasts the bird a month. Do you know
Actually, a couple months.
You know why pellets are in there? Just in case when he's in his cage that he wants something. It's not going to hurt him. It's not going to kill him. Most of the birds are raised on pellets, but this bird gets cooked for every single day.
Yes.
So I'm buying a little 2-pound bag. I don't think it might be a 2-pound, 3-pound bag.
I don't know,
it lasts a month.
Actually lasts for a couple months.
Yeah, a couple months. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. Variety diet is the best. Max actually doesn't even touch it that much. He just doesn't. He eats whatever the hell he wants to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
It was funny when he found out he liked popcorn. We didn't have popcorn for like 8 months, and he's going on 10 months here. And my son was making popcorn, and he just started flipping out, doing his spins, dancing and singing, and just going crazy. I'm like, what are you so excited for? And my son was shaking the bag, and he got more excited. I said, come out here with that popcorn. And he just went nuts. It was just hilarious.
And that's how you learn with your bird.
You had a bird Nazi this morning. What was that about?
Yeah, the bird Nazis, what you want to do with them is just tell them that they know more than you and move on. I do it all the time. If anyone ever searches my name in a reptile game, a reptile world, you just put Gary Orner reptile, and you'll see that I've been interviewed on radio stations, I've been on TV and stuff like that. And I get people that argue with me, and I'm like, you know more than me. You got better animals than me. That's all good. I'm not in it for the prestige. So I'm like, you know more than me. It's all good. We're good. The only thing I got mad about the other day was someone said that you cannot rotate gecko eggs because they adhere to it, and I got mad. I'm like, I proved that wrong. Me personally, on my YouTube channel, I put that you can rotate, and I proved it by rotating a gecko egg. I rotated 2 gecko eggs for the whole time. Every 2 days, I rotated that egg, and they both hatched. And I did that to prove people wrong that you can't, because I don't like false information. And someone told me that they tried to use my words against me, saying that, they were like, well, on this website, it says this. And I'm like, well, on that website, I'm the one that wrote that article. And if you look, it says that you can rotate it. You cannot rotate crested gecko eggs, not leopard gecko eggs. And they were like, oh, crap. And I'm like, it says written by Gary Orner, and my name on Facebook's Gary Orner. And someone tried to use my own words against me. So I even got caught up in the drama that day.
The furry bird nut. If I'm reading it, furry bird nuts, good or bad, change hormone levels.
The furry bird huts, I've never used them. The cuddlers are good. If you're looking for a hut, to tell you the truth, the birds that we just got has a nesting box, and they seem just fine.
They love it.
I don't see a reason you can't do it. I say you can trial it, grab it, see if it works for you, and if your bird does change attitude, then remove it back away from them. Nothing's ever permanent with a bird. Like Max has a bad day. He might not let me touch him a whole day.
Yeah.
Then the very next morning, he's like, oh, I'm back to normal. Here I am. I'm Max again. Come please play with me. So will the hut harm the bird? No. But every bird can be scared of something different. Every bird might love something different. So we might have 2 birds the same, that one likes something, one doesn't. They got personality.
They're kind of like people. They're totally unique.
They give you an example. That Amazon parrot at the rescue that let me pet him. And
he was cool.
No one could touch him. They wanted me to take him because nobody, not even they, could touch him. He never got petted, never got held, never got taken out of the cage because no one could touch him. And I'm sitting there, literally had the cage open, and I'm scratching his head. And they came around and looked at me, and they're like, how are you doing that? I'm like, I didn't know it bit anybody. I don't know. I just went in there and wanted to be petted. And sometimes all it takes is that kind hand. And show them that, I take stuff when I'm going to give it to Max, and I put it near my face. Birds, if you notice, are real protective of their face. So, and they know that it's your face. So if you put something near your face, they're more willingly to try it. And I don't know if you ever got me on camera? When
Yeah,
I go and I'll put something like I try it. I'll put up my lips and go, and then I'll go, and I'll do this, and then he'll try it. And I'm not eating it. I'm not even putting it on my mouth. I just got it near my mouth. And then he knows that it's safe because it went towards me. And if I don't do that, sometimes he'll turn his head up to stuff. But if I do that, he'll try it.
They're just like kids. My daughter changes her best friend every day. Am I reading it right? I don't know if my eyes going goofy or what.
They're just like kids. My daughter changes her best friend every day. Yes, I do. A bird.
I get it.
I'm telling you, one day you're going to have a bird. He'll have a good day. One moment.
Yeah.
I've had Max go at me one moment, and the next moment he's upset and putting his foot up, trying to scratch his own head, saying, come scratch it. We'll have to get that on video. I'll scratch his head, and Max will lift his other foot and scratch his other side of his head at the same time. I'll scratch one side, he scratches the other. And then if he gets really into it, he'll curl his head around and get under his wing with it, and I'll get under his other wing at the same time. And get it all done at one time. He's really weird about it. But the hormone level thing, every bird's different, and you got to remember, here's another thing a lot of people don't talk about. Birds go through teenage years. Their hormones are going to be a little bit worse during them teenage years than other times in their life. So if you get a bird and it's young, it's going to go through them teenage years. But Max is 20 years old. So he's not going to be like a 5-year-old bird. That's another thing to remember when it comes to them hormones and the breeding season and stuff. Yes, Max can breed, and he would breed if he was given the opportunity.
Yeah, he's always trying to.
Yeah,
He's trying to breed my hand all the time.
He's trying to breed Laura's hand all the time, and it's really weird. But he doesn't get aggressive.
Yeah, he never got aggressive.
Yeah, Max could be on Laura, and I can go up and pet him. He doesn't care. It's just there's different years. I mean, them teenage years for a bird is a different time for them, and they're trying to figure things out just like a teenager, just like kids would. They're trying to figure their hormones out, and they're trying to figure out that one moment they're in a bad mood, one moment they're not. And I say never put human emotion into animals, but this is about as close as you're going to get.
Yeah,
because they are going through that hormonal change from being a baby bird into that teen years to a bird. And it's going to be, that's on their mind. I honestly don't see it out of Max at all.
No, I don't. People ask me all the time, and they're like, you shouldn't be holding your Moloch and cockatoo right now. I'm like, why? They say, well, the hormonal stages, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. I said, I've had him for 10 months. There's been a couple different times people have said this, different things. I said, he's fine. Sometimes he does, he'll lower down and he'll shake his tail feathers. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no. And I just move him to different areas, and he doesn't bite it. He shows zero aggression.
That's the other thing. You got to be able to read your bird.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, is reading your bird.
Yeah, you got to be able to read your bird. You got to know what the aggressive signs are when they're upset. You got to know what their happy times are, what they do when they're happy. Your bird's going to be a little different than everyone else's bird, but the signs are general, like there's a difference between the short fluttering of their wings to the wide open wings and their foot out. This is now your bird might not do this. A lot of people's birds might not do this. They're going to say I'm crazy, but a general thing is birds protect each other. So if they bond, when Max bonded to Laura, he might see Laura getting attacked, so he would turn and bite her to make her run away. That's a true thing. The birds will bite each other, make that bird run away while the attacker gets the one that was doing the protecting. Or when their foot's up, sometimes it looks cute, but when they're upset, if you watch, they're upset. They're actually trying to keep the thing away from them. It's kind of cute, but that's a defensive mechanism. But there are also times when they put their foot up, they want to be stepping up.
Yeah.
So I
think it's a different one. It's more of a
but
raise.
when that fluttering of the wings is there and their foot's up, it's a little different, and their chest is out a little bit. It's more of aggressive than when they're coming at you a little bit and they're saying, "Hey, I want to get out of you, please." It's a different look, and you got to learn that. You got to learn that when that time comes, and then you can back down without getting bitten. Because I guarantee your bird does not want to bite you.
No, like I think I got bit pretty bad 3 times, but it was the one time when he was stuck in the tub, which he was scared.
Yep, he was stuck in the tub.
And I should have listened to you, but I was scared too, and I just thought, well, if I put my hand out, he'll twist his foot and lift out. I don't know why.
His foot went down in the drain, so if you guys get baths, we got to cover for it now. We got to watch it. His foot went down in the drain, and his toe got caught in the drain. I had to take the tub apart to get him out. And I took the tub apart, and he got right out, and he was fine. And it was a simple mistake. He just went over there to get underneath the water. He's like, "Duh-duh-duh," and his foot went down there and got caught. So we took care of that issue.
He loves showers. Oh my God, does he like? I'm sure you guys have seen his shower videos.
Yeah, some birds like showers, some birds don't.
Yeah.
Some birds that look at you and say, there's no way I'm taking a shower. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and Max is like, please, every day, all day.
And that's another reason people ask why we don't have a lot of dust is because Max likes showers so much and he don't have as much dust. And his wings look really nice and clean all the time.
And they're so fluffy because I
they're
wash them all
soft.
the time.
They're growing in really nice. And Max has that broken wing. A lot of people, if you guys don't know that, before we got him, he must have broke his wing or he did something to it. We don't know exactly what, but one wing sits lower than the other. But he's our bird. He's our special bird.
Yeah. And he's got alfalfa feathers that stick out because he broke it.
Yeah. Now, I could clip them feathers. I could make them feathers go away, but there's no need.
No.
He actually uses them feathers to pet himself.
Yes, he does.
He'll grab his own wing and pet himself on the head with his own feathers. It's really weird. We got to get that on video sometime too.
I think I do. I just got to search. I've got tons of videos up on YouTube. You just got to search for them.
Yes, I mean, so that's what I'm saying is don't let people discourage you. As long as you're not harming your bird and hurting your bird, don't let people discourage you. Try new things and figure it out. I mean, you don't want to go buy rat poison and put it in your bird cage. We know that's going to hurt the bird.
No.
But if giving them a bigger block of wood, and people say that might intimidate it, and your bird loves it, don't let other people tell you that your bird does not like the bigger block of wood because you already know it does. And if your bird likes sleeping in a blanket, let it sleep in a blanket. If it likes some cozy cuddler things, let them have that. And
a chewing bird's a happy bird. Chewing is very good for a bird.
Chewing bird's a happy bird. If your bird likes sitting on your shoulder, don't let people say don't let it sit on your shoulder.
Yeah, there was a fight about that a while back. Not to put, because the lady was bit right here.
That's what people are scared of, is getting bit. They try to say it's a domination thing. It's not. Excuse me. Man, I got a cough. But it's not a domination thing. They're afraid to get bit on the face. And all rightfully so. It can happen. Anything with a mouth or a beak can bite you. So you got to remember that. Your dog that you've had for 18 years that's laying down on your kitchen floor right now waiting for you to come pet it can turn around and bite you at any given time. If you know how to read your bird, you know how to read your dog, you're going to know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's the ticket. You got to know how to read your bird. Because I see Caesar sit on Andrew all the time.
Yeah. Those guys are there. They go for walks together. He takes it with like it's a cat. Caesar goes everywhere with him, which is pretty cool.
And that's what I'm saying is 32 years?
Yeah.
How is that wrong?
Is that?
And the one thing I do love is usually the people that are adamant and fight are the people that sit there and say, I've had 45 birds. Well, how many you got now? One. Well, I haven't had 45 birds. Well, I had to get rid of them, or they died, or this happened. And you're giving advice for why?
Or they really never had them.
Yeah, or they never really had them. So these people, I don't know. I mean, I want to say 95% of people are really good people and they love the hobby. The 5% that just want to ruin it, just ruin it, and they troll. Don't let the trolls run what you want to do.
Yeah, and don't listen to that person because you had your bird shipped in that they got a bug up their butt. It's earlier you said.
What, a bird got shipped in?
Yeah, she had her lovebird shipped in and she had a bird Nazi go AWOL on her.
You had your bird shipped in. Is it healthy? If it's healthy, you did good. You got yourself a new friend today, didn't you?
Yep.
You got yourself a new friend. You're going to spoil them rotten. And then when you're going to have videos and pictures and all that other stuff up with this bird, it's going to be amazing.
Was it on No Fox Given? I doubt it, but I could have missed something because it.
Yeah, No Fox Given. I'm sorry about trolling people on there.
You got a fid?
Listening, I'm sorry.
Do you have? What are your fids?
How many fids you got? I don't. I just do this, guys. I try to make fun of a lot of things. The fids thing, or when I posted the parakeet thing, that was just a little fun towards the people. The parakeet one got laughs. We got laughs out of that.
Yeah.
But the fids thing, I think that caused a little more issues. I do that sometimes when I see someone complaining about something that's so, like whatever. I'll post something else about it and I'll make a point about it. Like I posted, what are you going to get your fids for Christmas?
Yeah. How many fids do you have?
How many fids do you have? And that one, how many fids do you have, is still getting posted to this day.
I know.
And but if you had your bird shipped in and it's healthy and it's sitting in your house right now,
and it's happy and you're happy,
you guys are happy and it's healthy, you didn't do wrong.
No.
You didn't do wrong. Don't let someone say you did wrong. I mean, period. Don't do it. The people are going to get upset about stuff. The people are going to get, I don't know why. Now, if you want the next bird and you could go to a rescue, it might be a little bit better. But if you're that person that wants to buy babies all the time, I'm not going to put you down. Go buy your babies.
Heck, I'd like to buy a baby. I won't lie about it. I'd like to have a baby gray. It would be really cool.
Go do you. If you want to get a baby, and Laura's going to have a baby gray. It takes money.
Yeah.
It takes money. Go do you and be happy with you. And how I say it is, I always tell Laura this: you got to take care of your four walls before you can worry about anyone else's four walls. You got to take care of your four walls. And as long as something you're doing is not harming anyone else or any animal, then you're doing okay. Okay, I mean, if your animal's healthy and you guys are having fun, don't let the haters hate. Or should I say, let the haters hate.
Because they're always there. They're
I always
looking
tell
for...
people, don't hate the player or don't hate the game. Just get off the board. And I say it a different way than that, but I don't want to cuss right now. I tell people, don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Just get off the board if you don't want to play. Just get off the board. The bird hobby is an excellent hobby. And actually, I used to think Laura was crazy when she went on these Facebook pages. But No Flock Given has really dove in and got me hooked.
That's like my second Facebook is that page. Max's page and No Fox Given.
It's a good page. I mean, I like all the pictures and all the birds that people are posting. You guys, once you guys get me hooked even more, I'll post stuff like post me pictures, or I'll post a picture of our bird and say, this is just a Moluccan cockatoo. I do that a lot because I just want to see other birds. I like seeing animals. That's my favorite thing is animals. I want to do it for a living. I want to do an educational show for reptiles.
Yeah.
And that's my goal right now. That's what we're going back to.
There's somebody in No Fox Given right now that has like a gazillion chickens and I think 6. There's different kinds of chickens and a bunch of peacocks and something else.
I want a chicken.
And there's somebody that has friends that have a falcon.
I want a chicken, and just to be funny, I want to call it fried. I don't want to eat it. I just want to name it fried.
And then someone has a sister-in-law that's raising an owl in their house. It's pretty cool.
Owls can be had.
Really?
Yes, owls can be had. Guys, if you're in the bird hobby, and you guys want a certain bird, just check out your bird laws in your state and county and city. But almost any bird can be had as long as it's not on the endangered list.
Their beaks are a lot sharper than Max's, aren't they? They're made for tearing, ripping.
I don't know. I've never owned an owl. I don't know. I don't know how sharp they are. I couldn't tell you. But I mean, I don't want to be. I would be more worried about their talons than their beak.
Oh, yeah.
Their talons are pretty tough. Owls are like, and their heads spin around in circles.
Caesar's does too. Max will do it once in a while. Yeah. That whip like the crazy 8. I don't know how they do that.
We need to get. We're going to get this phone call thing going next week, and we're going to get people calling in, and we're going to have some fun on that and get some bird stories going. Because I got some animal stories. If people ever want animal stories, I got tons of animal stories.
Well, tell us an animal story.
I used to own a timber wolf, so that was another sad story, but it did not pass away at all. I used to have a timber wolf, and it did not like anybody, and I'm talking did not like anybody, and it was aggressive, and I was moving. We didn't have the big yard. We used to have like 5 acres of land, and I let my friend adopt it from me. But the sad thing was he couldn't even touch her. She was that aggressive, and we adopted her that way. We found her that way. She just didn't like anybody except for me and 4 other people. And when I gave this timber wolf to Joel, my buddy, he was a bodybuilder, and he's like, "Oh, she'll eventually warm up to me." He had 15 acres, I think it was 15 to 18 acre farm, and that timber wolf stayed on that farm, ate on that farm, played on that farm. And she lived to be 19 years old. And Joel told me when she passed, he goes, "I never touched that dog. He would never come up and let me touch her." But she had other dogs to play with. She actually played with other dogs. There was his other dogs would play with him, but she would never come up. It was just the way she was. But we adopted that timber wolf. And I had her, I think I had her, and she was 8 when I gave it to him. And, that's what I had to do. I had to, adopt her to him, and I got to see her when I wanted to, but eventually I moved too far away to go visit her every week. But that's when I was young. I was 16.
Oh wow.
18, just turned 17 years old. I gave her to Joel. It was a family dog, but I found the home for it because I didn't want to give it to a dog pound. I wouldn't do
It was
that.
a big dog. It was
Oh,
actually like a wolf.
200, yeah, it was a Timberwolf. She was 220 something pounds.
Oh, she was pretty tall too, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, she was huge. She would dig dens and everything. She was a Timberwolf. And she wasn't aggressive to the family. That's what I'm saying. Is she was really, really friendly. She would lay with you, whatever. I mean, she was awesome pup, but she wasn't a dog. She was a wolf. That was in Ohio. I used to own that, so that's kind of an exotic.
Yeah.
Not an owl.
No.
I have friends that are falconeers.
I want to do that. It would be so cool.
I got some friends down south that are falconeers. Maybe we can get them on the show. Talk about falconeering. Is that a word, falconeering?
There's actually someone who contacted me that wanted to do, and she does it.
Yeah.
And
So-
I have it. She's in my messages.
We're gonna have to go ahead and get her on here because if you guys want to be on the show, just say something because I mean this is just for fun.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun. Maybe it's gonna blow up and go national. Oh, we're already worldwide. So
What about bird toys?
what about bird toys?
People ask me about them all the time. Like they think they have to buy them in the stores. You don't. They play with anything that they can destroy that's safe for
Clean
them.
wood, non-treated wood.
Yeah.
Yep. And if it's a kid toy, usually it's going to be okay for the birds, or you just go buy the non-treated wood blocks that kids used to have back in the 80s and 90s. I don't know. Did they have them in the 2000s too?
They must.
But the wood blocks, the ones that come in triangles and the rectangles and squares and stuff, go buy those. Go look for them at garage sales. Take them home, drill out holes, put some string through them, boom.
Yeah.
And hang
Or-
beads and all that other stuff from it.
Or sometimes I just like them singly. We have a class for laser, and I can't wait to. Oh, cool. Sometimes I found that Max likes his toys that are on chains and strings, but he also loves them when he can just grab them and destroy them, like not on chains or ropes. Or he just wants a hunk of wood or
Wood.
a bead to chew on.
He'll destroy a 4x4 8 foot long in like a day. He just goes. But do not buy treated lumber. That I will tell you is bad. Treated lumber is not for water. It is for bugs. It is poison. Do not buy treated lumber for anything near your birds. It will kill them. It's a nasty, nasty thing. So treated lumber is bad. It's good for your decks. It's not good for bird toys. And if you're going to paint stuff, you want to get the non-toxic stuff that you would do something for like a child. If you must paint stuff, but I'm telling you, you don't have to. I see that some people say plastics are bad. There are some plastic and PVC that are bad. There was a big discussion about PVC, and I had to educate somebody on it. The hard, rigid PVC is 100% fine for your birds. That does not get toxic until it gets 248 degrees. So at 248 degrees, it's going to have the particle breakdown that it will become toxic, the fumes. That's not going to happen, though, because 248 degrees, you put it in the oven. CPVC and flexible PVC has other elements in it that can be harmful to the bird. So don't get the tan stuff, okay? Or don't get the flexible. Get the very rigid stuff, and you'll be fine. You can build playpens out of it, wrap rope around it, and all that good stuff. If you're going to use a glue, they do make non-toxic glue. You can actually search on Amazon for animal safe non-toxic glue. It's not as good as the glue that we're used to using, but it will be safe for your bird. The process to make PVC is very, very, very harmful. But the actual rigid PVC is actually not harmful at all. Dowel rods are something else you can go buy. You want to get the untreated dowel rods. Dowel rods are great.
We need to hook some up. We got to get some of those, actually.
Yeah, I got to buy some because Max's perch is actually breaking. The one you guys see in the videos. The welds are breaking on it, and I don't weld. So that's something that, toys and a building of toys, you got to watch what you use. But certain plastics, I tell people that certain plastics can be bad. But I've yet to see Max or any bird eat plastic.
Oh yeah, someone got on me the other day about that I was gonna kill Max and I'm torturing him that he has plastic. I'm like, no. What do you think toys are made of? Bird toys are made out of? And
There's bird toys that are made of plastic. A lot of bird bowls are made of plastic. There's ceramic. There's a lot of different things, and it just matters what plastic it is. And I know it's easier to blanket it. It's easier to say all plastics are bad, but you got to educate yourself on each individual thing. What else about toys? Some people like using rope only. Some people like using bendable wire for their toys, like they see in the bird stores. You can buy all that at craft stores. To give you an idea, you could probably make $10, $50 toys for $50, then go and buy one toy for $50.
yeah, easily.
And if you got large birds, they're going to destroy them very quickly. Now, if you got lovebirds and cockatiels and stuff like that, they don't chew up them toys as fast. But them large birds, they're going to.
Mac, I like making Max's toys, and Colby Cockatoo says she's gonna make some. That's awesome. When you do make them, can you post them on, Max's page or Whistling Radio? We'd love to see them.
Yeah. That's what I want you guys to do too. If you guys make something, post it up. We're gonna have that forum going too. Post them up. We want to see it. That's gonna be the number one thing. When we have our forums, we're going to have a nice place that no one's going to be able to argue. Adult conversation is going to be allowed. Put downs and making people feel bad about something they do is not going to be allowed. It's just not going to happen. We want to educate, but we're not going to depreciate what we do. We're going to educate people. What's up?
I just said you're welcome. Colby said thank you.
Oh yeah.
I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, I'm sorry.
So on the forum, it's going to be where. Yes, if let's say you have an opinion about something, you can post it. As long as we're adults, we're all adults. We're not kids. So, being a bully, that's the best way I can describe it. Some people bully others to want to do it.
Yeah.
I guess some people feel if they're offended, then their opinion is right, or their opinion is just right because it's them,
or they don't understand something,
or
so
they
they're going
don't
to be
understand
creeps
something.
about it.
Like the PVC thing. The guy was sort of right. He was right saying that he was saying PVC is bad. Yes, some PVC is very bad. You do not want to buy the flexible stuff. You do not want to buy the CPVC. You just don't want to do it. But the hard rigid stuff, the Schedule 40 rigid stuff,
Like the tan colored stuff?
no, the white. You don't want CPVC is tan.
Okay.
So you want to buy the white rigid stuff. It's non-flexible and it's fine. Schedule 40.
Yeah.
I know I'm now saying stuff. I used to work at Lowe's for like 9 years, so I'll know all this stuff. I don't like using copper. Oh, when you use PVC, do not use PVC glue. Do not use PVC primer. Do not. That will harm your bird. The fumes alone is nasty enough to make it. Do not do that. I will actually look up some other glues and try to get them posted up on a blog or something for toy-safe glues for your birds. Because there are glues that are safe for ingesting, just in case they ingest it. Now, some people don't like hearing that, but there are safe stuff. There is safe stuff out there. Just like someone yelled about me, feeding strawberries to an iguana one time. I'm like, it's not going to hurt them. So they can eat strawberries. Who cares?
Someone flipped out because I had just cleaned Max's cage like I do every week. I scrub it down and she couldn't see any toys in it and she was flipping out. He has toys in there, but he sleeps in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something about that. A lot of people say the toy's got to be in the cage. I love the people that sit there and say this. The cage has to be large enough for the bird to spread its wings, but then they get a cage large enough and then fill it with toys so the bird can't move. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Our bird sleeps in its cage. It's not playing in there. It sleeps. It does have some toys in there. Do you know where he plays in his cage? at the bottom of the cage.
Yeah.
He goes to the bottom of the cage and he plays with toys down there like a kid. Now, he's out all day and he gets to play on the floor. You guys see videos. Plays on the floor, plays in boxes, has toys. If the cat would play with him, he'd probably play with the cat. And
Oh, I got it for that one. Oh,
to let you guys know, our cat would die if Max wanted to kill it. But anyways,
oh, Angel, hi.
a lot of people don't understand. They're like, you got to put tons of stuff in their cage. Now, if you got a smaller bird, yes, you want to put toys in there, but there is overboard of toys too. You don't want to put so many toys in there that the bird cannot move. The bird cannot enjoy it, or it only can sit in one spot. Do you know what's worse than having no toys in the cage? Where the bird has to sit in the same perch spot at all time, and it's going to get arthritis in its feet. Have you ever seen a bird with arthritis in its feet?
Nope.
It sucks. I'm going to tell you, that's why you got to have different size perches in them cages. You want to have different size perches so it can work its feet. That's what it needs to do, because in the wild, it doesn't have these really nice dowel rods and all the trees that are the same size. So it's always working its feet. Now, if you got so many toys in your cage and it only can sit on one or two perch spots, we got a bigger issue than it having toys. There's a happy middle. There's an extreme none and there's an extreme toys. You want to be in a happy middle where it can use its cage space and it can hit all its perches and have some toys. I'm going to tell you this now, especially to people with the smaller birds. You're going to find out that your bird's going to like one or two toys and play with them only.
Yep.
It's going to like them. It's going to take them one or two toys. And it's not going to touch that new toy that you went in there and you got. You got that new toy and you think, oh my God, it's going to play with this new toy. It's so cute. And it's going to look at you like, I don't like that toy. I'm not going to play with that
Or
toy.
it'll take like a week or a month or whatever, then they'll maybe start playing with it, but
Yeah.
it takes a long time for them to get used to a toy.
So, I mean, and then you see it could get scared. Now, think about this. You're a bird. And here's another thing. You're a bird, and you're finally used to your cage. Your new mommy and daddy, it just got you, and you're 3 months in, or whatever, and you're just getting settled in. Now, mommy and daddy are shoving new things in your home that you're the calmest. Where you're supposed to be most content is in your cage. That's where you sleep. And someone's shoving stuff in there and then walking away from you for the night.
I would scare the crap out
It's
of me.
like, what is that in the corner? Oh my God! Think of it that way. What is that in the corner? What do I got to do?
I've
And
noticed.
then that person's wondering why their bird's so upset.
I've noticed Max he plays with toys a lot faster than he used to, though. I know that.
Because he's calming down.
Yeah.
Even at 10 months. 10 months is a young bird he's not young, but young for the family.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Max, outlives us, but he's got his forever home. He's never going anywhere else.
I know.
He's going to be a very lucky bird. He's only had 2 owners. He had one person own him before, and then us. Now, I'm hoping that he outlives us and he goes to our kids. I'm hoping that. I know some people are going to say that's a dumb thing to say. I'm hoping he outlives us. He should. He's only 20, and we're, Laura's 21, and I'm 40. But anyways, it's just, you got to think of it that way, where if you're taking a toy and you're going to throw it in their cage, and then the next few days you're like, well, why is it so upset? What did you change in its atmosphere to make it upset? Because you control that. It could be a new toy, a new piece of food. You put it in a new area. You open a different window. There's different sounds in the house. A door's open. A draft's happening. It could be so many things. You got to find that one thing that's upsetting your bird, and you find it, it's going to make it go away.
I want to touch on one thing, but while I was watching their beak, body, and beak language, and their body language, and the surrounding area language, to be like, say if you're holding it, and they say, well, why doesn't Max ever bite you? Well, that's just his way, and I watch all the time. I don't just sit on my phone. I've got to watch, like, if the cat's going to come in the room or the kids are going to come barreling around the corner.
Birds are startled easily. Even the most calm birds are going to startle easily. So even Max is used to our cat. He's used to the cat. The cat is used to him. They actually, the cat is sit there and play with him through the cage. It's weird. But anyways, that cat could startle Max by running into because the cat gets startled, runs into the living room and can startle Max and make the bird bite and not mean to. Or he's doing his defense mechanism like, okay, mommy, there's that. Bites. You run away. I'll handle the problem. That's how birds are. Birds are very protective. And if you don't think so, get a breeding pair of any bird and try to touch one of them. You're not dealing with one bird. You're going to deal with both of them. And they're very protective of each other. And when you get a bird protecting you, you're part of its flock. That's just the way it is, and that's how you want to get there. You want to be part of its flock. And trust is a big thing. So I think a lot of people, when they're having problems with their birds biting all the time, they just haven't found that thing that's bothering that bird. They haven't found that thing that's triggering that. It could be 2 or 3 things. I mean, it could be a toy in there. It could be the positioning of the cage. Covers. We do not cover Max at all. Max goes to sleep when we go to sleep. Max wakes up earlier than us most times, and he'll scream for us. But I'm telling you this, covering the cage is a thing that human beings did to train their birds to be quiet because we did not want to deal with them at that time. So someone along the line had a bird in a cage, and the bird was going, rat, 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 rat. And they're like, how do I get this bird to shut up? I'm going to throw a blanket over it. Oh, it shut up. There we go. And all you're doing is you're teaching that bird. And I had someone argue me this and say this exact line. Well, we're teaching our bird it's quiet time. Yes, you're training your bird that you want it to be quiet, so you're covering it so it can't see the world. And that's why I say that it's not needed. If you cover your bird, it's totally fine, but it's not a necessity. It's not a necessity at all. The 2 new birds that we got were covered every single night. Since it's been here, they have not been covered, and I have not had a peep out of them.
It was funny when they're quiet. They go in their house and they lay down. And someone said, or lay down, whatever they do in there. And someone said, take that out of there. Take that out of there. I'm like,
no need.
They had it before. They enjoy it, so let them have it.
Every bird's going to be different, and we're going to find out what birds want and what birds don't want, and you're going to find out what your bird wants and what it don't want. Like I said, you probably don't want to put a nesting box in your bird's cage if it's 2 years old. Probably don't want to. But if you do and it's still fine with you and you've had a nesting box in there for a year and it doesn't bite you, it doesn't get hormonal, it doesn't turn around and get aggressive towards anybody, and someone says, you need to take that out of there, you go, well, it's been in there for a year and it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe my bird's a little different than your bird. You know, that's all you got to say is maybe it's different. I appreciate the advice, but it's different. But you want to listen to what someone says, too, when they say don't put that nesting box in that cage. You want to listen to that so you know in the back of your head if something starts happening, you go, well, that person told me not to put the nesting box. I wonder if that's something I can change. I could take that nesting box out and it goes away. It's all about actions. We're taking an animal that flies out into nature and has the world to them, and we're putting them into a cage. You know, and a house is a cage. You know, and we're trying to find out what triggers their upsetness and their bad days, their good days, their good moments, their bad moments, and the people that get the calmest birds usually pay attention to the minor details the best. So they see that, you know, every time they cocks his head that way, he's going to bite them.
Yeah, like Max, we found out that he doesn't like masks on Halloween. He
does not like masks. He does not like the vacuum.
Mm-mm. He puffed up every feather that is on him was extended, and he started rocking back and
he
forth.
didn't like stuffed animals.
No,
he did. We found that out. A lot of birds like stuffed animals. We gave Max a stuffed animal, and he was going crazy. And
he likes it now, though.
I took the stuffed animal, I balled it up and hit the face, and he was fine. So you got to get to the point where you read your bird, because you got to become a student of your bird. Because just like your kids, no one knows your kids as well as you do, and no one knows your FID. I did it again, as good as you. I did it again. I said FID. I'm so bad.
It looks so funny. Yeah. Oh, it does look funny. I'm like, what are you doing? I like when he puffs up and he calms right down, though. It's really cool. It's like
and I appreciate everyone saying they love the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
This is just the growing part, guys.
Yeah, Michael, I know who you are on where you show up as, Michael. But your name is Angel. Hi, Angel.
I appreciate all you guys. We hope this gets better. Like I said, we're hopefully we're going to be able to give away prizes. I do have some big connections in the reptile world, and a lot of them do birds too. I just don't want to give away birds. But I'm thinking about giving away cages. I'm going to talk to some cage manufacturers. Maybe we'll get a cage or two, be able to be shipped to your house. We'll do a contest for that. We're going to try to get some show sponsors up, so we'll have to pay bills. Eventually, we're going to have to play some jingles and some stuff and sponsoring and
I call
stuff
that
like
Puff,
that.
I call that Puff Magic Max or Puff Ball. I love when he does it. It's so cute.
Oh, the puff, yeah. So I mean, we're gonna try. Laura's doing a lot of work, as you guys see. She's advertising. She's coming up with the topics. If you guys got topics you guys want to talk about, just send them on in and let us get the research done. Because if you guys send me a topic that I do not know, I'm gonna go find the answer and we're gonna talk about it. But I'm gonna tell you where I found that answer too. I'm gonna tell you, well, you guys asked this question and I did not know it, but I found the answer. And I'm gonna give you the website where I found the answer, or the websites that I found the answer, or I'll find a person that knows the answer and get them on the show and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, a bunch of those animal people. You should see if we can get someone on the show. Like
I know a lot of zoo curators very, very well.
and some
of them don't like me. I'll say it. I don't even care. I don't even care what he says. He doesn't matter to me. A lot of people know who Jack Hanna is. He's the face of the Columbus Zoo. He does not like me very much. I called him out at one of his Columbus meetings because he reads off a card. He does not actually know anything about animals. He was reading off a card. He's just a face. And I called him out and I said, "You're wrong," in front of the group. And like 6 people in the group could not believe it was me and was starstruck and says, "Oh, it's Gary. Look at that. It's Gary." And Jack Hanna now hates my guts. But Jack Hanna, beside the point, the Columbus Zoo is an amazing zoo.
Oh, it's awesome.
The Columbus Zoo is an amazing zoo. I'm from Toledo. I would, and I'm not even being biased, I would rank, if you go through Toledo, Ohio, or near Toledo, Ohio, you need to visit the zoo, especially if you're a bird lover. They have a room where you can actually have, they have an African gray there now.
They do?
Yes.
Cool.
One was stolen, but now they have an African gray back that you can actually pet, and they can come up on you if you want. You go in large bird rooms, the birds can fly right down to you. But it is a top 10 zoo in the world. But very, very easily. It has probably the 3rd best reptile house in the world. Its aquarium is amazing. The Toledo Zoo is awesome. And if you guys can get the San Diego Zoo is another great one. Ton Jones is a big part of a sanctuary out in California. If you guys don't know who Tons Jones is, he used to do the storage auctions, one of the storage auction shows on, I think it was TLC or one of them shows.
Yeah.
But, when they buy the storage units, Tons Jones is a really big reptile person, animal person, and he's part of a sanctuary out in California. I can get him on the show, too.
That'd be cool.
If you guys want to talk about some other stuff other than birds.
Angel had a good question. I always thought that, too, and I never really said anything.
What's that?
She went to the zoo a week ago. Why won't they give them toys?
The zoo does give toys to their large parrots, but it's not out in the open. They want it to be natural. That's why it's a natural setting. They want, when you go to a zoo, usually they don't want to promote the pet trade. They want to promote the natural history of the bird. But if you guys go behind the scenes, and next time I'm in Toledo, maybe I'll try to get a live feed on Whistling Radio. And I'll talk to the creator of the birdhouse, the aviary, and we'll get behind the scenes. And they actually have cages that put ours to shame, and tons of toys. Tons and tons of toys. Them birds are spoiled rotten. Now, the wild birds, like the I don't know, the ducks and all this, they stay in that. But the big birds, the 2 macaws, they have the other stuff, they have toys in the back. Now, the eagles that they have do not have toys. They go for the natural look. That's why the reptile house, same way. They go for the natural look. I'll give them crap. I don't care. I'll give Greg crap every single time. That saltwater croc needs a bigger bigger enclosure, and he won't let me touch the salty. I'm kind of upset about that.
I kind of feel bad for the one in town here. They have a Moluccan cockatoo they don't put out. I'm assuming that's
a sanctuary. The sanctuary has a Moluccan cockatoo.
I'm assuming that they can't work with it.
Liability.
Yeah.
A lot of places, another thing, a reason is that you cannot touch the animals at sanctuaries. A lot of zoos is liability and insurance. If they don't make enough money to buy the insurance for it, then you won't be able to touch.
It doesn't seem like there's toys in there at all, but it could be. They could be afraid of it.
I don't know.
They could be afraid of it because if you don't work with birds, they can cause a lot of damage.
The sanctuary's probably got employees coming in and out.
Yeah.
The Toledo Zoos had the same curator for a very, very long time, all the way to the elephant curator. And I got some special connections to the Toledo Zoo, so if we get back to Toledo, we can do some live feeds. They'll let me do video, everything. I mean, maybe they'll let me touch the saltwater crocodile.
You're nuts. They're not going to let you touch a damn crocodile.
Zoos are a great way. You can see. Also, if you guys actually want to see birds, rescues are a great way to go. If you want to see how it is working with a macaw, working with an Amazon, working with a gray, working with budgies, working with lovebirds, volunteer at a rescue if it's one's near you. If you volunteer at a rescue, I guarantee they're going to let you play with the birds, and they're going to help you out the best they can. Now, not all information at a rescue is correct, because I mean, they sit there and like they were telling me that I couldn't put the birds back in the cage. I had to let them climb on the cage because it's hard to put them in. Every single bird I got out, I put in the cage. I wasn't understanding.
I don't think they know. I think they have problems with it.
Yeah. So the best thing to do if you want to work with an animal, you can find a rescue, and I'm telling you, rescues will take any help that they can get. So if you go there, they're not going to sit there and go, well, guess what? We just don't want your help. We don't need any cage clean or nothing. Just kind of go away. A good rescue is going to take your help in a heartbeat. And if you volunteer at a zoo, some zoos have volunteer programs. Some of the bigger zoos do not. But some of the smaller zoos, like the new zoo here in Green Bay, they look for volunteers all the time. But they don't have a very large zoo. But it's still a good quality zoo. You get to touch giraffes. I don't get to pet the giraffes in Toledo, but I get to pet the giraffes here in Green Bay.
I think one of the coolest zoos I were at was the Columbus Zoo because I like monkeys and I specifically love gorillas. And they have an awesome gorilla exhibit out in Columbus.
Yeah, the Columbus Zoo is probably one of the better zoos in the country, but Mr. Jack Hanna doesn't like Gary.
Like when we were at the Columbus Zoo, it was really cool. We were in the indoor gorilla enclosure, and there was a bunch of gorillas kind of in a big circle. I'm like, what's going on? Something must be going on. And I looked down, and all the straw was moving. I'm like, what is that? And I looked closer, and it was a itty bitty baby gorilla, and I just melted. I think we stood there for a couple hours in that cage.
She wanted to stay there the whole time. And we had a whole zoo to look at, and yeah.
The gorillas just amaze me. Gorillas and monkeys. Gorillas especially. I don't know. I love watching them. They're just so beautiful.
But that shows we can get some connections there. We can get, like, you got the Falconeer. I think that's what they're called, Falconeers.
I'm not sure. I'll find her in my messages.
I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. The people that do the predatory birds.
Where they fly them too?
Yeah. And so cool. I do some photography. I do some amateur photography. I would rate it like a 5 out of 10.
He's good at his photography. I'll admit that.
I got some really cool pictures of like the bald eagles and some vultures and stuff like that.
They're so beautiful, bald eagles. I love them.
But we got a lot of plans. We got a lot of plans for the show. We got a lot of people that want to interview. We got people that want to call in and get that stuff done. I do have the ability to do it. I just didn't want to do it today. I was being lazy. We had to get through, like I said, I wanted to do like an hour show. We did, it's going
2 hours.
2 hours already. And I don't mind. If this show takes off and we get listeners, guys, and we get the topics and the interviews, I'll do it 2 times a week. That doesn't bother me at all.
What kind of birds do you have, Angel? I know you told me, and I'm sorry I forgot.
You got to keep talking because they're going to.
You got to keep talking?
Yeah, can't have dead air.
No dead air. We don't want any dead air. Dead air, dead air. Is anybody commenting on the Whistling Radio or any of those? Can't
I
make
think
my
it's
car.
getting late. You got to remember, it's 11 o'clock here. It's going on 12 o'clock in the Eastern.
Yeah.
Over in California, it's a little bit younger.
You have a blue and gold macaw? That's awesome.
I want a blue and gold macaw.
I held a blue and gold macaw at the rescue.
Yeah, I want to adopt it.
It just
Laura said no.
they're cool and they're amazing, but they're just for some reason like scare the crap out of me when they make their noises. It just like makes you jump out of my skin. I think I was just afraid of how big they were, and now that I've had Max for so long, I think I'd be able to handle it and deal with it better. But at first, I was like, "Holy crap!"
Wow, we got a lot of likes on the Whistling Radio already too. Jeez,
That's all me.
Yeah, we're gonna have to rock that out. I'm gonna have to work
Devin.
on them t-shirts.
Yeah, Max will do that crazy laugh too. It's like a devil, like a creepy clown. It's like, what are you doing? I love it. Max actually, he was on his perch. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen his perch, but he swung down on accident with his claws. He was actually all the way down. He held on with his claws, swung himself back up, and looked around like, oh my God, did I make it up here? So that's cool that they talk a lot. Max has been talking a lot more lately. The more he's here, the more he talks. I love when birds talk. It just amazes me, intrigues me.
It's rocking and rolling.
Yeah. If you guys have a YouTube, I'll check yours out, and check Max's out too. It's called Maxie Max, and I'm always uploading videos to there all the time. I wish there was a way I could repost like ones I've posted a long time ago. As people want to see them, they said, "Oh, I can't find them," and it's hard. I don't know how to repost it at the top of YouTube. I don't think you can do that, can you? Once they're up, that's it. You just gotta search
all
for
you
it.
gotta do is go to your videos, watch. You just go to YouTube, go to the videos, and it lists them.
Yeah.
If you would title them like I did these ones and I put Whistling Radio number 1, and then you could categorize them. You can put these are Max eating, these are Max swinging by his feet, these are Max biting my nose, these are Max doing this.
That's awesome. Colby is. Let me see if I can see them. Bungo Macaw and Umbrella. Who is who?
We're rocking and rolling.
Yes, we are.
So, what do you think? We're gonna call it, or we're gonna keep going?
I think we're gonna call it.
All right. Well, what we're gonna do, this guys, is if you guys are interested in
Thank you,
coming
Colby.
on here, just go ahead and let us know. Get in contact with Laura. If you got ideas or topics, go ahead and let us know. Get in contact with Laura. I'm going to let Laura be the secretary. This is Laura's show. I'm going to get her out of her shell. She did really good after she got going. I could take over her show really easy, as you guys can probably tell. I just get going. But we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're doing this because you guys are wanting it, and it makes us feel really good that we got this big group going already. And so if there's anything you guys need, anything you guys want, just give a shout out to us, and we will go ahead and talk to you guys later.